Hello everyone, thank you so much for coming back. For those of you who are new, welcome, and I hope you like what you find here. These are going to be your general readings for the month of July. I do want to mention again, like I did in my last mid-month reading, that the Uranus 7-year projections are available for you. Tremendous amount of information coming through. That information is down below for you. And these readings in July are general, so if they don't make sense to you, listen to your other signs. I don't want to keep this intro too long. Keep in mind that sometimes certain things will make sense to you right away, and sometimes none of it will make sense to you right away. From what I gather from hearing from you, it almost always makes sense to you at the end of the month or the beginning of next month. So do listen to it again. If it doesn't make sense to you, I do want to stress that I don't know what it is, but in the month of July, there's this incredible feeling of release. So many of you will feel that. You may have been going through it and feeling it already, but there's a tremendous amount of energy. I feel like it's trying to push through us, which will catapult many of us forward into various new ways and various new beginnings. So overall, it feels very exciting. It might be scary for some of you because the newness also represents not knowing what's to come. So there might be a lot of surprises too. But generally speaking, there is this uplifted feeling of excitement, but also I don't know what's going to happen. And not because it's bad, but because it's I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what waits for me at the end of this journey, whatever that is. So do keep in mind that this is general. For private session, of course, that information is down below for you. Thank you so much for liking, for sharing, for subscribing. If you wish to comment how this connects with you, I read every single one of them. Please do. I would love that. And above all, whoever you are and you have any birthdays in July, happy birthday to you. And have a great month of July, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye. Hello, beautiful Scorpios. These are going to be your messages for the month of July 2018. Let me go through some of the channeled messages that I have for you. First and foremost, when I connected with your energy, I heard the word breathe and take a breather. For some of you, it's because you are so wound up in your head, you need some time in order to breathe. For some of you, or for others of you, there is so much going on, you are so wound up, you need a break. And for some of you, I feel like you need to take a breath before making some pretty important decision. Incidentally, after I did my cards, which was 10 minutes after my meditation, the very card that looked at me was the card called Breathe. So when I see this, when these coincidences happen, I am like a kid in a candy store because they're huge confirmations for me, and I absolutely just love it. So breathe or take a breather is a huge message for you for the month of July. I also want to say the words, you don't have to try to be enough. You are enough already. Now, this message is going to hit you like a ton of bricks, or it's going to make zero sense to you whatsoever. And for those who are meant to hear it, you'll hear it. You won't have to wait until the end of the month to hear this. This is an important message. So there's very much a feeling of confidence is too simple of a word for me to use this. There's a lack of feeling one's value to the best of your ability. And what does that really mean? It means that there's something missing. Whoever I'm tapping into, there is something missing with the statement, you don't have to try to be good enough or whatever, you already are. Fundamental stuff for some of you. Incidentally, you're also in an area with a number of 3. So the 3 energy is all about expansion. It's about giving birth. It's about physically giving birth, yes, but it's also, metaphorically speaking, it's about giving birth to new ideas, to new plans, to new ventures, to new possibilities. So it's very much an energy of expansion, which also means new beginnings and choices. But getting back to my messages. So take a breath, hugely important. Now, he's asking me to say, for some of you, you need to take a breather because you are letting something go. And this can be as simple as you moving to another city or to moving to another place, or as complicated as completely changing your life around, from the people you are around to the city you live in to the country you live in. So it's anywhere in between. The other thing that I felt was that some of you were going round and round, and this is going around in circles, or what seems to be like going around in circles. But the message here was that although it may feel that way, when you look in the past, you'll be able to see things you haven't seen before, and therefore this time you might do something very different. So sometimes going in circles, well, not sometimes, going in circles often signifies there's something we're needing to learn, and sometimes we don't even understand what that is. So whatever this means to some of you, it's important. Some of you are literally moving up. Now you are either moving up the ladder in your work environment, you are moving up in your apartment or to an apartment, or you're moving up the country. The phrase moving up, hugely important. And there was like a stamp being put on it. It's almost like approved. Some of you literally are moving to a different country, moving up the stream, up the street, whatever that means, you're moving up. I also saw that you are no longer letting yourself to be on the hook for something. And that's really important, because the phrase here, no longer, is the most important part. And it seems like some of you have dealt with the idea of sacrifice. You have sacrificed yourself to someone. You felt somehow indebted to someone or something, and there's a feeling of independence that's being addressed, or lack of independence as a result. So looks like some of you will no longer hold yourself responsible for something that isn't yours to begin with, and that can mean many things. I also saw, and this is for sure for those of you who are moving, I saw you are sharing or giving your personal belongings away, and you are giving it to others, and that felt very much it's because you are moving. Maybe it's because you're moving uptown, and you are giving your possessions away. But it doesn't feel like you are needing to do it. It's a choice you are making. For some of you, you are simplifying and you are giving stuff away because it is a clutter. And and then I felt moving away. So for some of you, you will be moving away, and those who will be moving away, for many of you, it's going to be a substantial move. This could be a substantial move up the ladder, substantial move to a different city or different country, or someplace you may have never thought of before. There's an idea that's presented. Now, where are you now? So interesting, because you got the hawk. And the way the hawk came to me, it very much feels like those of you who this is for, you are refusing to see your gift. And another sign got this, a very similar message. So look at your other signs. So there's either an inability to see your own gift, an inability to see a different perspective, or not wanting to, which is a choice, or inability to see what other people see. And this has to do with your vision. So this could be you actually have psychic vision. You have ability to see things in others. You have ability to see something others can't. Whatever it is, you're refusing to see that about you. And I thought that was kind of interesting, because it speaks to the quote, the phrase neglect of self. So there's something within you that you are choosing not to recognize. And for whatever reason, that's up to you to figure out. Rejection is the very common one that comes up. But there is the feeling that you keep pushing it away. And I feel like you need to start allowing that to come forward more. Then you have the fish. So the fish to me, represents a symbolism of emotionally being all over the place. Now, if we are not recognizing our own gifts, and if we are trying to pretend that there is something else out there, we're never going to truly be emotionally solid, because we're trying to find something that already is, but we're not wanting to be responsible for it, so we look for other things. However that came out, I hope it makes sense to you. My mind is trying to do cartwheels to trying to understand it, and I'm being shown it's not for me. So whatever that statement meant, it's for you. I'm going to have to listen to it. But emotional stability is being addressed here. When we fundamentally know ourselves inside out, is it possible to know ourselves inside out? I feel we can get close to it. Is it all the way? I don't know. But when we know ourselves pretty well, including the things we do not want to know, then we are much more stable inside. Why? Because we are more solid in knowing who we are, and therefore we don't have to hide, or we don't have to be overly fearful. So, but somehow it ties to you needing to accept something about you you're choosing not to see. And if that is the case, whatever it is, it's like you don't want to know an aspect of yourself for whatever reason. And then I hear the word rejection again. So whatever you're holding back or whatever you're trying not to see, it is also what's keeping you emotionally all over the place. And when we are all over the place, we don't have, it's not that we don't have a vision. Our ability to focus is minimized and therefore not nearly as effective. So then I pulled 3 boring tarot cards, and fantastic what I'm seeing, because you have the Emperor, you have the Strength, and you have Page of Swords. So 2 major arcanas right off the bat. Just going to show you the cards. So what is this saying to me as a story? Well, you're going to feel darn fantastic in the month of July. There seems to be a lot of stability and self-nurture happening. Now, this is a time for many people when they take holidays. So maybe you're getting a break, or maybe you're taking a breath, and you're going to feel so much stronger, so much better for it, obviously. But it also is showing me that in the month of July, thereabouts, there is almost like a door opening where you can reclaim your independence. And when we feel independent, we feel often in charge. And when we feel in charge, well, then we can relax. So you get what I'm getting at. Point is, there's a word that I want to say. It's reclaiming your stability. Now, I'm being asked to look at a symbol I've never been asked to look at. And this is the Ankh symbol. That's a very Egyptian symbol. AKNH, I believe, or AKH, or ANKH. For those of you who are into symbolism, please look this up. And I'm also being shown a sign of Aries. So you might be Aries. Well, you can't be Aries. You're Sagittarius. Not Sagittarius. You're Scorpio. So however Aries comes to you, whatever Aries means to you, there's a lot of hot-headedness. Maybe you other sign is Aries. But there's an Egyptian symbol here. And I believe the symbol means never-ending life, or everlasting life, something of that sort. I'm supposed to point this out to somebody, okay? So huge opportunity to reclaim, I want to say, your control of life as well. And again, I hear the word responsibility. So this responsibility thing for some of you is quite substantial. Then I'm seeing the card of Strength, or the image of Strength. So you see this lady trying to tame the lion. And what this is saying to me, that for some of you, financially, you're going to regain your strength. Month of July somehow offers you this opportunity, whether it's because finances are going to flow differently, or it's because you shift the way you look at finances. That's going to allow you to have more peace and therefore feel much stronger. Whichever one it is, this is what it has opportunity to give you. The words tame the lion. This is also chakra number 1, or root chakra, which is all about safety and stability and security in this world. So it tells me that in the month of July and a little bit of August, or it might start for some of you in August, there's an opportunity to ground yourself, to ground your steadiness, to bring steadiness into your life. Going forward. And that can mean many, many different things. New job, new career, a move of place, move of home, move of apartment. Huge. Now, what's also showing me is that you are going to recognize your own strength. And when we do that, then have a tendency to shift how we see us. And oftentimes we'll begin to understand why people see us a certain way, but we haven't been able to. So this is particularly for those of you who have been told over and over again that you're this magnificent person and you keep saying, no, it's not me. Chances are this is what's going to keep coming up for you over the next few months, to recognize your own abilities. And again, for some of you, you're hiding something. So maybe this is going to afford you the opportunity to start something new, to open yourself into something new. The Page of Swords, it's funny because I want to say with this card, cut through the crap. Definitely not a meaning of this tarot card, but this is what I want to say to you. So if you're dealing with any clutter, particularly mental clutter in your life, number one, take a breath, take a breather, exercise, but get rid of crap in your life. That's really what I want to say. When we get rid of crap in our life, we regain control. And although I don't like the word control, it's appropriate here. We regain feeling in control of our life. Well, you have the Emperor. The Emperor is very much in control. So the message here is get rid of crap, okay, or cut through the crap. And then I said, what is it that they need to know? Show me what they need to know. You have chop wood. So there's a lot of work obviously ahead of us, but over the next little while, don't focus on the big goal as much as you focus on the little things that get you there. And for example, if your goal is to be financially stable, looking at that goal and not being there is only going to produce anxiousness and an anxiety, because it constantly shows you what you don't have. Rather, have a goal, have an idea of what that looks like, most certainly what it feels like, because that's the fuel, and then do the steps that are necessary for you to get there. And I mentioned this with, I think, another sign, so check your other signs. But it's important that it's like the hourglass. Each grain of sand on its own isn't very much, but when you put it all together, after a while, it's a little pile of little grains of sand. So what it's saying here is focus on the little things, focus on the mundane things that will bring you closer to your fruition. And last but not least, there is, you have the card Y, which is all about, I want to hear say the word recognition. It's recognition of self. It's awareness. It's the ability to see clearly. It's the idea of knowledge, which knowledge is freedom, because when we have knowledge, we open up and our constraints are so much less. So there's a huge opportunity here for you to overcome something quite substantial. And for many of you, something that you have been dealing with all your life. And when I actually ask the question, I hear the words giving up. So some of you may have given up on yourself. Maybe you have people who have given up on you. Maybe you have just given up because nothing has been working. And the idea here presented is, and I want to get choked up when I say this because my throat is squeezing, which is also why I feel you would be holding something back, something really, really important. So if you have given up on the idea of being successful, being in a loving relationship, whatever it is, I want to say not so fast. It ain't over yet. And that just symbolizes to me something really profound. I also want to say, if you are one of those people who tends to be overly shy, it's important for you to gain more confidence. When you gain more confidence, you become shy a little bit less. Now, some people are introverts, some are extroverts. Actually, we are always a little bit of both. It's just depending on which one is more dominant for you. But there's a feeling here there's a message here for me to share with you, which is come out of hiding, come out of isolation. If you tend to be a shy person, involve yourself in some activities that, will get you out of your comfort zone. They're not going to necessarily push you out there, but get a little bit closer towards being around more people. Hugely, hugely important for whoever this is. And last but not least, I'm being asked to say, take care of your emotional needs first. Take care of your emotional needs first. Why is it important? Well, it's like the analogy on the airplane. If you're traveling with a child and something goes funny or not funny, and the masks with oxygen fall down, you are instructed as a parent or as the guardian to put the mask of oxygen on you first. Because if you're dead, well, you're useless to your child. So that is the analogy I'm being asked to say, and it's very out there. So take care of yourself first. I hope this makes sense. Makes no sense to me. And if it does, if you would like to comment, I would love to read it. Thank you so much again. Of course, this may not make sense to you at the beginning of the month. I always say listen to it at the end of the month. And of course, this is general. So if you would like private session with me, that information is down below for you. Thank you so much once again. Enjoy your July and take care.